Treasury Secretary for Public Affairs Monica Crowley. Monica, great to see you. Thank you for coming in. There's another thing we haven't talked about, all these downward revisions of the jobs numbers. I think we have a graph we can put up. 10 of the last jobs numbers were eventually revised downwards significantly, so much so that I believe in 2023, we had 500,000 fewer jobs created than were originally reported. I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, but do you think that's all coincidental?
Well, it's not just the jobs numbers that have been suspect in the Biden administration, David. It's also the quarterly GDP numbers that we've been getting that are constantly revised down. And that undermines a lot of people's confidence in the official numbers that we're getting on the economy out of this administration. Everything in this administration is political, so why not the official data on jobs and GDP growth? So it raises a lot of questions. Look, the American people are very frustrated with this economy and the kind of garbage coming out of the president and the rest of his team on the economy. They're out there still selling Bidenomics, but the American people are not buying it because their own lived experience is so different from what the president is trying to tell them.
We're going to talk about that in a second more. We've got some new polls out, but I just want to stick on jobs for one more thing, which is the kind of jobs that are being created. And this gets to the issue of whether the government is trying to pump up the economy with more deficit spending, $2 trillion worth this year. The kinds of jobs include mostly either government jobs or government-related jobs, like healthcare jobs or education. Even if they're private education, there's still a lot of government money that finds its way in there. Is that what's keeping the jobs numbers up?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what is also keeping the GDP number up as well. I mean, they're out there touting the jobs report and GDP. But when you look closely, it is all directly related to this massive government spending. I mean, you and I would grow too, David, if we had $8 trillion pumped into us over the last 3 years. This is exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing all this government spending, which has created the inflationary environment. It is giving an artificial sense of the jobs picture, the labor market, and overall growth.
And to your point, I want to get to this poll. It was one of the most recent ABC polls that we could find from mid-January. It asked a very good question. Which of these sounds more right to you? The economy is in good shape, given low unemployment and rising wages. 24% said yes to that. But the economy is in bad shape given higher prices and interest rates. 71% agreed with that. So if those numbers stay the same, I just don't know how they have any bragging rights for the economy at all.
Yeah, that's right. And just because they continue to try to tell us that the economy is a net positive doesn't mean the American people are believing it, what they're selling here. Look, that dovetails with other polls that we have seen, David, where 2/3 of the American people say that they are living paycheck to paycheck and simply cannot get ahead. And 3/4 of the American people say that they have a negative view of the economy, like that poll showed as well. And they're rightfully blaming Joe Biden, the guy in charge, and the Democrats who have been driving this massive spending bus all along over the last 3 years. Look, the American people don't have to reach back 40 years like they used to the Reagan boom to remember what a thriving economy was like. They only have to go back a couple of years pre-COVID to the Trump years.
Right. It's still
and I have a feeling, David, more and more
memory.
Americans suffering in the Biden economy want that Trump economy back.
No, it is current memory in a lot of people's minds. It was not that long ago at all. Monica Crowley, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
You too, David. Thank you.
Well, switching